Hello. Today we're going to look more closely at how to analyze qualitative variables. So you remember there are two types of qualitative variables. We have categorical variables and ordinal variables. So in this video we're going to start with looking at how to analyze categorical variables. So you see on the screen that we are in the survey of automobiles, we are in the module analysis, and we are in the preview section. To do a specific analysis, we're going to click on the button that is called New Analysis. And so if we click on New Analysis, what happens is that we have a board here that appears on the left-hand side, and then the result for question number 1. And only for question number 1, because if you see on the right-hand side, there is nowhere else I can go compared to the preview section. Okay, so let's have a look at what we can do when we have an analysis of just one variable. It's called here a flat table, but it really should be univariate analysis. So univariate analysis means how you're going to analyze one variable. So when you want to analyze one variable, and in this case it's a qualitative variable, what we have, first of all, what we see is that we have both a tab where we can modify things for the table. So you see here, this is the table of the results for the question number 1. And we have another tab called Chart, where we have all the options that we can use to change the chart that comes with this question. So actually, we will start with the chart. We will start with the chart, and you see that by default, the chart is in automatic mode. But if I click on personalized, just clicking here, you see that a large number of possibilities appear, and you can choose from these various possibilities. You can also choose not only the type of chart, you can also choose the colors that you want to use for your charts just by clicking here on the scroll down menu. Okay, you can choose any color you like, or you can also have one color and you can pick the color here, or you can have two colors and here you pick the two colors. Whenever you are making a change to the chart, you have to click on Apply Changes. So I'm going to go back on the automatic, and let's see what we have in the tables. In the table, first of all, we have a scroll down menu with all the different variables that you can analyze. When you look at the list of variables, you see that each variable is preceded by a little icon. This first little icon indicates a categorical variable. This icon, where we have AB, indicates an open question where you have text that is being entered. If we have a question that is preceded by the numbers 4 or 5, it indicates a quantitative variable, which we will see in another video. And if we have a symbol like this, it's a scale for performance. We have a scale variable. You see that we have a little plus here. If I click on the little plus, I have a menu where I have each variable that appears individually. We will look at that in another video as well. Okay, so these are the list of all the variables that you can analyze. we are going to look more specifically at variable number 8 for fuel. Okay, so fuel is typically a categorical variable. In this variable, people have indicated what type of fuel their car uses. So you can see we can have unleaded gasoline, diesel fuel, GPL, or regular fuel. These are different categories of fuel that a car can have. Now, why is it a categorical variable? Well, just because there is no specific order in which I can put my responses, in a sense that unleaded fuel is not smaller or bigger or better than diesel fuel or GPL. It is just a category. And so let's look at what we have in the table menu. In the table menu, we have a little square here that allows us to group or sort the modalities. You see that if I click on that in that little box, I have a little settings wheel that appears, and if I click on that wheel, I have a window that opens up. I have a menu that allows me to group the modalities, and I have another menu that allows me to sort the modalities. So let's assume that I want to change the order in which the various modalities appear, and that I would like to have an order in alphabetical order. What I can do is I can drag diesel fuel up in first position, then I would have GPL in second position, if I want to do it in alphabetical order. Regular fuel will be in third position, and unleaded fuel is going to be in last position. This way, I sorted the modalities, the various categories, I sorted them manually in alphabetical order. And I click OK, and my table is going to change accordingly. We are going to look at the other option, which is to group the modalities. We're going to look at that in a different video. I have an option menu here where I can sort the rows, for instance, also in alphabetical order, but I can also sort in ascending or descending order of the responses. Usually, when I have a categorical variable, I am going to sort the responses in descending order of the responses. So here, if I have done that, if I have clicked on descending order, and if I apply the changes, I will have the modalities that will be sorted again based on the number of responses I have received for each category. Here we have options that allow us to present the results of the variable in a more palatable way, in a way that is more attractive for a reader of the report. Okay, so don't hesitate to use these options to adapt the way in which you're going to present categorical variables. In my second menu here, I can adapt whether I'm going to show both the frequency, so the number, the actual number of people who have given the various answers, as well as the percentages. I can choose to show only the frequencies. So I unclick, I deselect the percentages. And in this way, I only have the frequencies. Obviously, if I want the percentages, I click again and I apply the changes. We will look at the statistical test when we are dealing with bivariate analysis. Here we have another option that is very frequently used, which is to ignore non-responses. In this case, because we have 0 non-response, it will not change anything to the presentation of the table, but we will see how it works in a different example. And here we have other possibilities in how to present the title of the variable. So we can have an automatic title for the variable, and what this means is that Sphinx will automatically choose the name that you have given to the variable as a title, so it will be fuel, or if you want to personalize it, you can give it a title. So here I can say fuel of the car, and I apply the changes. And so what happens as well is that the number of the question disappears from the title. We can also have a specific comment that can be displayed. So again, I click on the settings button and I can include here, this is the fuel category of the car. Usually the comment will be on the responses. So the comment should be more to the effect that the largest category of answers is diesel fuel. Okay, so now we're going to look at another type of categorical variable, and it is going to be a categorical variable where more than one answer is possible. So from the menu preview, we go into new analysis, and in the scroll down menu of the variables, I'm going to choose variable number 9, which is the equipment of the car. So remember, in this case, we have asked people to indicate what type of equipment their car has, and people could indicate as many answers as they wanted. So indeed, when you think of it, a car can have all sorts of things. It can have alloy wheels and tinted windows and a CD player and so on and so forth. So if you look at the numbers that are here, that are given in the responses, if you just mentally add them up, of course, you come up with a number that is much bigger than 175, because people have given more than one answer. So with this question, there are a few things that we are going to look at. So this is the table, and here is the chart that comes with the results. So first of all, what we see in the table is that the first line says non-response. So we have 13 individuals who have not given an answer to this question, either because they didn't want to, or because maybe there is absolutely no, their car does not have any of these equipment. We don't necessarily know. But remember what I showed you in a previous video, we have here an option that allows us to ignore non-responses. So check what is going to happen with the alloy wheels results. So alloy wheels, at this point, we have 31 responses, and those 31 responses represent 17.7% of 175. 175, remember, is the number of people who own a car in my survey. So if I click ignore non-responses, and if I confirm this choice, look what is happening to alloy wheels. Nothing has changed to the frequency, obviously, but instead of having 17.7% responses, I now have 19.1% of the responses. Why? Well, just because here I don't have a total of 175 individuals, but I have a total of 162. 162 is 175 minus the 13 non-responses. Okay, so when you see that in your table of results you have non-responses, you should tick off here this box that says ignore non-responses, so that in your table of results they don't show up. People are not really interested in the non-responses. Now, the second thing that we want to do, obviously, because we have a categorical variable, what is interesting is to sort the responses in the order of the responses. So I'm going to click on the options. I'm going to sort the rows, and the rows are going to be sorted in descending order, just like we did in a previous video. And I'm going to apply those changes. And so you see that, of course, my chart becomes much more legible. I don't need more than a fraction of a second to see which is the answer that has the largest number of results. In this case, it's the airbags. It comes right on top here of my chart. Unfortunately, what I don't like is this other category arriving here in second position. I don't like it, and I would like it to appear at the bottom. So what I'm going to do, if this is what I want to have appear, remember we did it also in a previous video. We used here this option of not grouping but sorting the categories. And what we're going to do is that we're going to sort the categories as they appear here in the chart and put the others at the end. But check carefully how this is done. So first I have airbags, air conditioner, the alloy wheels, the CD player, the leather interior, coupling, the tinted windows, the board computer, and the other categories. I click OK, but nothing changes here because I have this option overriding everything, which is to sort the rows. I unclick this one, and now I have my responses that are sorted exactly the way that I want to sort them. Okay, so that is also important. You should remember that data, the results, should be presented in the most palatable way, in the most explicit way for the reader. So the person who is actually reading the results must be able to understand the results with a blink of an eye. Now, why can't we use a pie chart in this case? A pie chart, if I go in my charts menu and if I have my personalized charts, I will show you two reasons why a pie chart is not a good idea in this case. The first reason, as you can see, is that we have just too many different possible answers. It's the same situation than the situation that I showed you with the brands of the car. There are just too many different responses. And so here I can't see exactly where the responses are. So this is one reason. It's not very clear. But the other reason, of course, is that a pie chart is when all the slices of the pie they represent 100%. But in this case, because people are allowed to tick more than one box, my sum here is larger than 100%, and the sum here is larger than 162. So you would never use a pie chart where you have a categorical variable with more than one response that is possible. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my horizontal chart here, where everything is, of course, very clear. We see that the airbags is the equipment that is most popular on the cars for the people that were surveyed, then the air conditioner, and so on and so forth. So this is how you would treat a categorical variable that has more than one response.